Hollywood films are built on three components: character, desire, and conflict.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so Hollywood films, any other types of films, art house films, I know we talked about briefly off camera, it's the same rules apply, but maybe just different elements that the characters are.
Yeah, in that case, there's nothing different at all, and we're not just talking about movies. That's the foundation of all story.
Okay.
Any story. You can talk about an epic poem, you can talk about a myth, you can talk about a fairy tale or children's book. They're all built on character, desire, and conflict. Every story that I can think of, almost without exception, if it's a narrative story that has a beginning, middle, and end, is going to be about a character who desperately wants something and something stands in their way.
And you say that desire moves the story along, but actually what we resonate with is conflict.
Yeah, I'm saying the conflict is what is more responsible for the emotion that is elicited. Because, let me give it as an example, the movie, well, let me put it this way. Let's say I said to you, you want to go to a movie this weekend? And you said, well, what are we going to see? And I said, well, I heard about this movie. It's about a guy who wants to make a speech. So what do you think? Well, chances are, although I know you're into art house movies, you're probably going to say, yeah, what else is playing? Because watching a guy give a speech, you can do that on TV and be bored to tears anytime. But if I said it's a story about a guy who wants to give a speech and he happens to be a prince in Great Britain who has a horrid speech impediment, who was abused as a child, who has no desire for the throne but then has to become king when his brother abdicates, and the speech he wants to give is going to be the speech that leads his country into World War II. Now it's sounding not only intriguing, it sounds like it could be an Oscar winner, because all of those things I just said were all of the conflict he faces in trying to give the speech. So it's not giving the speech that makes that story exciting or emotional or appealing or commercial. It's the obstacles he had to overcome to do that.
Let's take desire. So in something like Fatal Attraction, which I know is an extreme version of desire, the desire is not really what's moving the story along, it's the conflict in terms of?
No, it's the desire is moving it forward, but you have to pinpoint first of all, who's the hero of the movie? The hero is the Michael Douglas character, okay? And at the setup we meet him and he's restless and not a very moral guy and sort of, you know, whatever. And then he meets, as the opportunity, he meets Glenn Close, I don't remember the character's name, and has an affair with her and starts doing that. So somewhere around the 1/4 mark, I think he's already gone to bed with her, but then we see that she might be a little more possessive than he was anticipating. And gradually, the more her craziness and possessiveness and psychosis starts coming to the fore, the more he wants to get away from her and finally stop her from terrorizing him and his family. So actually, his outer motivation is to stop the crazy woman he slept with from terrorizing or destroying his family. And if you realize the goal is to stop her, then his desire to do that pushes that story forward. Now, admittedly, it's her actions that he must react to that are moving things forward just as much. So he's reactive more than proactive in a way. But what we're rooting for is for him to get away from this crazy woman before everything goes kablooey. Because even though he made a big mistake, we still are rooting for him.